Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Fegan from Dakota State University, and I'll be the instructor for this course, introedfn338 Foundations of American Education. Welcome to the beginning of the journey for a lot of you into becoming a teacher, which for some of you has been a lifelong goal. You'll have a lot to do. You'll be very busy in this course, so please buckle up and be ready to go. You'll notice that I have some real attitudes throughout the lectures about some of the things in teaching, but none that I'll be more passionate about than your involvement as a teacher. Please don't get into this field unless you have a passion for it. You'll be miserable and you won't be successful, and that will hurt the kids. Let me just kind of walk you through the course before I start giving you very specific instructions. The course will be ran almost exclusively from my wiki page, this one. So do this now. Bookmark this page. I get asked every year when you can't find this or if something happens to D2L and you know how to bookmark. If you don't, all browsers work a little bit the same. This is Chrome, and Chrome is a Control D, and watch what happens when I hit Control D. It gives me this window up here, and you can then put it where you want. And if I were you, I would put it on the bar. Some will say toolbar. Chrome, I believe, calls it a favorites bar. Explorer says favorites bar, but on the bar will give you this line up here, so it's readily available. And then shorten this name. You can give this whatever name you want, but don't use this one. It's too long. Call it Wiki or something. Okay? Something where you'll find it, but you don't want to have to go through D2L every time you want to get on this page. Okay? Alright, so bookmark this. Stop the video and bookmark it now. Okay, let me just tell you about the course. Here is the description. Survey of goals, history, organization, philosophy of the pre-K to the 12th grade American education, with emphasis on teaching as a profession, contemporary issues and practices, legal and ethical responsibilities, and I really get carried away on that lecture, and attributes of an effective teacher. That's what the course will be about. And here's my name, and the best way to contact me is here. I accept texts. I'm on Google. You can I have it down here. You can Skype me, however you want to do it. Here's my office hours if you want to click on that. But I prefer to communicate with you digitally. And like I said, I will see you face-to-face online. I have a number of ways to do that if you need help. Let's do it that way. Here's the textbook, and this particular one is an 09 version, so please look high and low for that before you pay a lot of money, the retail value of it. There's also an online version through CourseSmart that's about half price, which you'll see in a lot of my lectures in the background. I won't accept a book anymore that doesn't have an online, so make sure you look for it. Now here are the three big components of the course. First, each week you view the chapter lecture and submit the completed outline in D2L. There's an outline and a lecture for each week, each chapter. And then each week there'll be a wiki project that you'll do right on here. And each week I'll have a little help video how to do it. And then the third thing, each week you'll take a test over the chapter from the week before. And say it once, and it'll be a problem for some. Everything is due Sunday nights at 11 o'clock. And then I put a little caveat here I took right off the syllabus, my classroom policies from Jay, attendance. All assignments are due when the assignment time is up. Sunday nights at 11 o'clock. If they are late, I will accept them the following week for half credit, but I will not accept them after that. I'll give you half credit after 11 o'clock, and I won't give you any credit the following week. Just because I have so much that it just gets out of control if you're trying to make up stuff down the road. So if you forget, for especially the test, you can contact me and I can open it for half credit for you. So, for example, most of them are 20 points. If you get 18 of them, you'll get 9 points for that quiz. I know it seems a little harsh, but I've had so much trouble in the past managing it otherwise. So let me take you into D2L and show you what that looks like. First of all, under the drop boxes, here is each week's work. And here's the due dates and times. And it just follows right along. We'll go right through the chapters. You won't have one due the first week, but you will from then on. And same way with the quizzes. They're also due Sunday nights at 11. And they're listed right here when they're open. Okay, all the way through. Now, I don't know how yours is set up, but I'll have them come up in the calendar also. And also I will have the calendar for the Wiki project. So those 3 things. Now let me show you, starting with week 2, what that looks like. Week 2 will be chapter 1. Here is the lecture, and it comes up like this. And if you have a Mac, you're going to download that Flip for Mac to run these. And it has a stop button here on the Windows Media and stuff, so you can stop it and go to your lesson. And then each one has the note outline. The note outlines almost all look like this. They have little blanks for you to fill in, and you have to follow along with the lecture or you're not going to know what to do. Because you can get some of these blanks from the PowerPoint that I provide, but there's times when I'm going to ask you questions in the lecture that you don't see on here, that I'm going to ask you to put information in here from your own. And so if you're skipping over the lecture and just filling this in, you're going to be disappointed because I'm going to grade you harshly for that. And so there's places in here there'll be questions, and sometimes I don't ask you to do it. So if there's places you don't have to respond unless I tell you to respond to it. Okay? And there's places I'll ask you to fill in all the information, like here, accountability. I ask you to add your information about accountability. Now, if you're not following the lecture, you miss that. You have no idea that's there. And so I will grade those harshly. Each of these are worth 5 points each week, and that will be a big thing I'm looking for. Did you respond to what I asked you to respond to? Okay. Then there's some reflection things and stuff. But if I don't say answer the questions, you don't have to do it. So don't ask me. Some of you will say, do I have to respond to this or that? Only if I tell you in the lecture. And that's why it's important in the lecture that you're able to start and stop it, so you can stop and add stuff and stop and read stuff, things like that. And then this will be submitted when it's completed in the D2L. Now you can type in here, you can write in here, you can print these out and then scan them back. I've had people write with the pens, on their tablets can write this way, but you fill this out however you want, but it'll follow the lecture precisely. And then here's the PowerPoint, just for your use, like I say. But if you just follow this, you're going to get about 2 out of the 5 if you haven't went through the lecture. I mean, if this is all you got, it's better than nothing. But you're not going to score well, and you're going to be kind of mad at me. Unfortunately for you, sometimes everything's time-stamped. When you take the test is time-stamped, and when submitted, when you do this is submitted. Even when you do the Wiki project is all time-stamped. And as you can imagine, I found over the past, people that are doing stuff Sunday night generally don't do the quality work that the others do. So if you're a Sunday nighter, just know this also. I may or may not be available for support. So if you have questions or can't get something to work or don't understand, if you're a Sunday nighter, I may or may not be available to you. So what I'm saying to you is, please don't wait till 10 o'clock Sunday night to start on this. You're going to be very mad at me if you're doing that. Okay, so each week will look like that. Let me show you. Week 3 goes into chapter 2. Week 4 goes into chapter 3. Week 5 goes into chapter 4. And then each week we'll have a project also, like this, where people fill in. Each week, let me take you back to week 2, where you put in information. And each time I'll have a little video, a help video on how to do it. Okay? So that's what it'll look like. Let me take you over here to course information. Here's the syllabus. A lot of this is pro quo. Academic honesty, and again, you may get away with finding stuff that you can copy, and you may not get caught, but if you do, the DSU policy is pretty stern. All right. Here in my correcting, I say it's, I try and correct it as quick as I can. It's my goal to correct this. Tuesday is my correcting day. So I will correct as quickly as I can, so you always kind of know where you're at. Course outline. Here's the course outline here. Let me take you back to the front again, because most people are very interested in this, and that is what makes up the course. You'll have these 13 chapters, a note outline from each one for 5 points, a web project from each chapter is another 5. The 13 chapter tests are about 20 points each. There's one that's only worth 15. And so this, and then a final test worth 20, and then your other contributions. Now, to speak to the final test, I just take a couple questions from each chapter, and it's almost impossible to study for it over that much. But here's my guarantee to you is if you bomb this, I will make sure it doesn't pull you down a letter grade. In other words, if you're sitting at an A, and out of the 20 you only get 10 right, and that drops you into a B, I will give you the A. So don't worry about the final test. The final test is my way of just checking to see what you learn from the experience, from the course. Okay. Then other contributions, there's a couple other little things, like the first week, there's a grade for doing the stuff for the first week. And then there's a paper. Let me take you back here. There's a paper in the course that you have to write towards the end. It's called Why I Want to Be a Teacher. It's a 25-point paper. And then if you're a DSU student, you have to do a field experience. You have to do a classroom visit. And I have that here also under course information. Down here, the field experience. And I have a video on what that requires. But that's only if you're a DSU student you worry about field experience. Okay. Other course information, I have the outline, the grades, how to use this. There's the lockdown browser. You have to use the lockdown browser for this course. Here's the download for it. This is just a link to the K-12 schools that you may need, stuff like that. I know. On the chapters, for example, here, there's other stuff here. Like one has these video viewpoints. I used to have you respond to these. You can just watch them now. You don't have to respond. You do not have to respond to them. You can, but you don't have to. Okay, and if you see other links here, some are for use and some aren't. Some are just for you to look at. Let me show you a different one. Okay, here's two. Here's the video viewpoints. You don't have to respond to them. You can just watch them if you like. Okay, here's one too. Here's the perspectives which people respond to. Now, we won't have an assignment due during spring break. It'll be the following Friday. You'll be due the Sunday night before spring break, but nothing at to do at the end of spring break. It'll be due the week after. Okay, that's the course. Like I say, it's about 460 points for the course. Really, mostly these three things. Lecture each week with an outline, and then a wiki project, and then a test for the week before. Okay. Glad to have you along.